The metal door slammed shut. Darkness swallowed everything except the thin strip of light bleeding under the door. Madison Harper's back hit the cold concrete wall as three shadows moved closer. Their breathing heavy like wolves circling prey. "Nobody can hear you down here," Scarlett Williams whispered, her voice dripping with venom. The storage room smelled like rust and forgotten things. Old mops. Bleach. Fear. Madison's fingers found something sharp behind her back. A broken piece of metal shelving. She gripped it tight, feeling its edge bite into her palm. The pain kept her focused, kept her from doing what she really wanted to do. "Not yet. Please," Madison whispered, making her voice shake on purpose. "I don't want any trouble." Brooklyn Davis laughed, stepping into the sliver of light. Her blonde hair caught the glow like a halo, but her smile was pure devil. "Should have thought about that before you made Scarlett look stupid in front of Mason." "I didn't mean to." "Shut up!" Trinity Johnson's fist connected with the metal shelf next to Madison's head. The bang echoed through the room like a gunshot. "You think you're so smart with your perfect grades and your little act." Madison counted their positions. Scarlett directly in front. Brooklyn to the left. Trinity to the right. One door, no windows. 7 feet to the light switch she'd memorized during her reconnaissance 3 weeks ago. Because Madison Harper had a secret, and in exactly 47 seconds, these 3 girls would discover what happens when you corner something that only looks like prey. "Hold her arms," Scarlett commanded, but what happened next made everyone in that room question everything they thought they knew about the quiet girl who sat in the back of every class. Real quick before we dive deeper into Madison's story, if you're feeling that tension right now, that edge of your seat energy, hit that like button to let me know you're with me. And listen, I know we all have that one person in our lives who needs to hear a story about standing up to bullies, so share this with them. Drop a comment about where you're watching from. I love seeing our community spread across the globe, all connected by these stories of courage. And you know what? Creating these stories that matter, that speak to the struggles we all face, it takes time and heart. If this story touches you, if you want to see more content that inspires people to find their inner strength, consider hitting that thanks button below. Every contribution helps me create more powerful narratives that reach people who really need to hear them. Your support literally helps these stories find the kids, the teens, the adults who are facing their own bullies and need to know they're not alone. Thank you for being here. Thank you for caring. Now, let's see what Madison's really made of. The broken metal piece dropped from Madison's hand, not because she was giving up, but because she didn't need it. You know what's funny? Madison's voice changed. The trembling stopped. Something else took its place. Something that made Brooklyn take a step back. "I tried to warn you." "What are you talking about?" "Freak?" Scarlett moved closer, but her confidence wavered. Madison's eyes adjusted to the darkness. She could see them clearly now. 3 17-year-old girls who thought they were predators, who had no idea they'd just locked themselves in a room with something far more dangerous than their petty high school drama. 2 weeks ago, Madison said, straightening from the wall, "when you poured chocolate milk on my homework, I could have ended it then. You didn't do anything." Trinity scoffed. "You just sat there and took it like always." "Exactly." Madison smiled. In the darkness, none of them could see that smile. If they had, they would have run. "Like always, for 3 years, I've taken everything you've thrown at me. Every shove, every insult, every humiliation." "So what?" Scarlett's voice cracked slightly. "You finally gonna fight back? Good luck with that." 3 against 1. Madison took a single step forward. Just one. But something about the way she moved made all 3 bullies shift their weight backward. 3 years. Madison continued, her voice calm as lake water before a storm. 1,095 days of your torture. 67 incidents of physical assault. 213 verbal attacks. 14 times you've made me cry in public. How do you remember all that? Brooklyn's whisper barely carried across the room. Because I remember everything. Madison took another step. Every single moment. Every witness. Every security camera you forgot about. Every text message you thought you deleted. The room felt smaller suddenly. Colder. "You're bluffing," Scarlett said, but her voice had lost its edge. "Emmy?" Madison tilted her head. "Brooklyn. Remember October 15th? You told everyone I stuffed my bra, but what you didn't know is that your boyfriend Carter was recording your conversation in the hallway afterward. The one where you admitted you made it up because you were jealous. I got picked for the academic decathlon team." Brooklyn's face went white. "Trinity. November 3rd. You spread that rumor about me and Mr. Peterson. Creative story. Too bad the timestamp on the security footage shows I was in the library during your supposed sighting, with 4 other students, working on a group project about constitutional law." Trinity's hands started shaking. "And you, Scarlett." Madison's voice dropped lower. "December 1st. You think nobody saw what you did to Jessica Chen? How you made her transfer schools? How you planted those pills in her locker?" "Shut up," Scarlett hissed. "Shut your mouth right now. I have the video." 3 words. That's all it took. 3 words to shift the entire power dynamic in that storage room. "You're lying," Scarlett breathed. "Your cousin works at the pharmacy on 5th Street. She sold you the pills. Hydrocodone. Her register, 2:47 p.m. Would you like me to continue?" The silence stretched like a rubber band about to snap. Then Scarlett lunged. It was supposed to be a tackle, the kind that would slam Madison into the wall, knock the wind out of her, make her remember who was really in charge. Scarlett had done it before to other girls. She knew how to use her 140 pounds to maximum effect, but Madison wasn't there anymore. She'd moved. Not dramatically. Not like some movie ninja. Just a simple sidestep. Barely 6 inches to the right, but it was enough. Scarlett's momentum carried her straight into the concrete wall. The impact sounded wet. "Wrong." "My nose!" Scarlett screamed, cupping her face. Blood seeped between her fingers. "You broke my nose." "No," Madison said quietly. "You broke your own nose?" "I just moved." Brooklyn and Trinity rushed forward together. No strategy, just rage and fear mixed into desperate action. Madison dropped low. Sweeping Brooklyn's legs, the blonde girl hit the ground hard, her breath exploding out in a whoosh. In the same motion, Madison rolled backward, coming up behind Trinity. "Stop!" Madison commanded. Trinity froze, not because she wanted to, but because Madison's hand was resting lightly on the back of her neck, right on the pressure point that controlled. "If I press here," Madison whispered, "you'll have a migraine for 3 days. If I press here," her fingers shifted slightly, "you won't be able to turn your head for a week. Please." Trinity whimpered. "Funny. That's what Jessica said when you cornered her. That's what I said 10 minutes ago. Did you stop?" Scarlett struggled to her feet, blood streaming down her face. "You're gonna pay for this. My dad's a lawyer. William Jefferson Williams, defense attorney specializing in corporate tax evasion. Currently under investigation by the IRS for hiding assets in offshore accounts. Would be a shame if someone sent them the photos from his home office. The ones showing the real books." Scarlett's eyes went wide. "How could you possibly? Because while you were busy making my life hell, I was busy learning everything about yours." Madison released Trinity, who scrambled away. Every secret, every lie, every skeleton in every closet. Brooklyn tried to crawl toward the door. Madison didn't stop her. Instead, she walked calmly to the wall and flipped on the light switch. The fluorescent bulbs flickered to life, revealing the full scene. Scarlett with blood painting her designer shirt. Brooklyn on her hands and knees, mascara running down her cheeks. Trinity pressed against the far wall, shaking like a leaf in a hurricane. And Madison Harper, 5'3", 110 pounds, oversized hoodie hanging off her small frame, her face calm as morning mist, not a hair out of place, not even breathing hard. "Look at me," Madison commanded. All 3 girls looked. They had no choice. Something in her voice made obedience automatic. "This is the only warning you get. Stay away from me. Stay away from anyone else you think is weak." Because I know everything. And I'm done being patient. You can't threaten us. Scarlett tried one last time. But her voice was tissue paper thin. Madison pulled out her phone, tapped 3 times, held it up. On the screen was a video, dark, grainy, but clear enough. Scarlett planting something in a locker. Jessica Chen's locker. I have 12 copies, Madison said. Cloud storage. Physical drives. Friends in other states. If anything happens to me, if you even look at me wrong, everyone will see this. The police, the school board, every college you apply to, your father's clients, everyone. She put the phone away, but here's the thing. I'm not like you. I don't enjoy hurting people. So you get this chance. One chance. Walk away. Change. Become better people. Graduate. Move on with your lives. And this stays buried. Why? Brooklyn's voice was tiny. Why didn't you do something sooner? Madison's expression shifted. For just a moment, something else flickered across her face. Something deeper, darker, sadder. Because I thought if I was quiet enough, small enough, invisible enough, you'd get bored. You'd move on. I thought enduring it was strength. She shook her head. I was wrong. Enduring abuse isn't strength. It's just survival. And I'm done just surviving. She walked to the door, paused with her hand on the handle. Oh, and Scarlett, you might want to reset your nose before the cartilage sets wrong. Push hard to the left. It'll hurt, but it'll heal straight. The door opened. Light from the hallway spilled in like salvation. Madison stepped through, turned back one last time. Sweet dreams. Ladies, hope you learned something today. The door closed with a soft click. Inside the storage room, 3 former bullies sat in stunned silence. Scarlett's blood dripped onto the concrete. Brooklyn's designer jeans were torn at the knee. Trinity's perfect makeup was ruined by tears. She didn't remember crying. What just happened? Brooklyn whispered. I think, Trinity said slowly. We just found out why she never fought back before. Because she didn't need to. Scarlett finished. Finally understanding, she could have destroyed us any time she wanted. They sat there for 10 more minutes. Not because they were locked in. The door opened from the inside. They sat there because none of them knew how to process what had just happened. How to reconcile the mouse they'd been tormenting with the lion that had just shown its teeth. Finally, Scarlett stood, reset her nose with a wet crunch that made Brooklyn gag. We tell no one about this. Are you insane? Trinity stood too. Legs still shaky. She just gave us a gift. Scarlett interrupted. Don't you get it? She could have posted that video, could have ruined my life. Our lives. But she didn't. So what do? Brooklyn asked. Scarlett looked at the door. Through it. Past it. To whatever future waited on the other side. We leave her alone. We leave everyone alone. We graduate. We get out of this town. And we pray she keeps her word. They left the storage room one by one, each lost in their own thoughts, each replaying the last 15 minutes, each wondering the same thing. Who was Madison Harper? The girl they'd tormented for 3 years. The quiet one who sat in the back. The shy one who never raised her hand even though she knew every answer. The weak one who made such an easy target. Except she wasn't weak. She never had been. She was something else entirely. Madison walked through the empty hallways. School had ended an hour ago. Most students were gone. Good. She needed the quiet to center herself again. Her phone buzzed. Unknown number. Did you handle it? The voice was male. Older. Professional. Yes. Madison replied. Clean? No blood. No permanent damage. Just psychological readjustment. Good. Your father would be proud. Madison stopped walking. My father is dead. Of course. My apologies. Your handler wants a full report by 1900 hours. Tell my handler I'm done with reports. Done with protocols. Done with all of it. Silence on the other end. Then, Madison. You know that's not how this works. It is now. She hung up. The phone rang again immediately. She declined the call. It rang again. She turned it off completely. Room 212. Her favorite spot, the old music room nobody used anymore. She pushed open the door and froze. Someone was already there. Quinn Mitchell sat at the dusty piano, fingers ghosting over keys without pressing them. They looked up when Madison entered, no surprise on their face, like they'd been waiting. Interesting show in the storage room. Quinn said. Madison's entire body went still. You were watching? I'm always watching. Quinn pressed a single key, middle C. The note hung in the air between them, just like you. I don't know what you're talking about. Sure you don't. Another note. E flat, Madison Harper. Straight A student. Daughter of Mary Harper. Librarian. Father died when she was 7. Tragic car accident. Each word was a test. A probe. Madison recognized the technique because she'd used it herself 1,000 times. Common knowledge, she said. Is it? Quinn played a minor chord. It sounded like sadness given form. What about the fact that Mary Harper doesn't exist before 10 years ago? No birth certificate. No social security number before 2014. No college records, despite supposedly having a master's degree in library science. Madison's hand moved unconsciously toward her pocket, toward the phone she'd just turned off. The one with the emergency button that would bring an extraction team in 4 minutes. Careful. Quinn said without looking up, we wouldn't want any misunderstandings. Who are you? Quinn smiled. Still playing. Now it was a melody. Haunting. Familiar but unplaceable. Better question. Who are you? Because Madison Harper is a ghost. A legend. A story they tell at certain training facilities about the youngest operative to ever complete the program. You're insane. Am I? Quinn stopped playing, turned on the bench to face her fully. Then, explain how a 17-year-old girl knows 43 ways to incapacitate an opponent without leaving marks. Explain how she has psychological profiles on every student in school. Explain how she moves like water and strikes like lightning. Madison calculated distances. Door, 12 feet. Window, 8 feet but reinforced glass. Quinn, 4 feet but unknown capabilities. Relax. Quinn said, if I wanted to hurt you, I would have done it already. Besides, we're on the same side. I don't have a side anymore. No? Quinn stood, moved to the window, looked out at the parking lot below. Then why save those 3 idiots? Why not let them continue their reign of terror? Why not just disappear like you're trained to do? Because I'm tired of running? Or because you actually care? Quinn turned back. Because despite everything they did to make you a weapon, they couldn't kill the part of you that's still human. Madison felt something crack inside her chest. Not bone. Something deeper. The wall she'd built around the truth. You don't know anything about me? I know you speak 7 languages fluently. I know you can build a bomb from household chemicals. I know you've been in this school for 3 years, as part of a deep cover operation that got burned 6 months ago. I know you're supposed to be extracted next week. Each fact hit like a physical blow. Madison's mask slipped just for a second, but Quinn caught it. I know because I'm like you. Quinn continued. Different program, different handlers, same damage. Prove it. Quinn smiled, reached behind their back. Madison tensed. But what Quinn pulled out wasn't a weapon. It was a photograph. Old, worn at the edges. They handed it over. Madison looked down and her world tilted. The photo showed 2 children, maybe 6 years old, a boy and a girl. Standing in front of a gray building she recognized but wished she didn't. The girl had dark hair and serious eyes. The boy had lighter hair and a crooked smile. It was her. And Quinn, remember now? Quinn asked softly. Before they separated us? Before they told us we were orphans with no connections? Madison's hand shook. The photo trembled like a leaf in the wind. This is impossible, they said. They lied. About everything. We're twins. Madison. They took us when we were 3. Told us. Our parents died. Trained us separately. Made us forget each other. No. Madison backed toward the door. This is a test. Another manipulation. Another. The scar on your left shoulder. Quinn interrupted. shaped like a crescent moon. You got it when you fell off the jungle gym. I tried to catch you but only managed to grab your shirt. You hit the edge of the slide. Madison's hand went automatically to her shoulder. Under the hoodie, under the shirt, the scar nobody knew about. Nobody could know about. You used to sing to me. Quinn continued, voice breaking slightly. When the trainings were too hard, when the punishments were too much, you'd sneak into my room and sing this old lullaby. Something about stars and safety and home. Twinkle, twinkle, little star. Madison whispered, how I wonder what you are, up above the world so high. Quinn continued, like a diamond in the sky. They finished together. When the blazing sun is gone, when he nothing shines upon, silence fell between them, heavy with the weight of stolen years and buried memories. Why now? Madison finally asked. Why reveal yourself now? Because they're coming for you. Both of us. The operation isn't burned. It's evolved. And we're the loose ends they need to tie up. When? Tonight? Maybe tomorrow. Soon. Madison processed this. Calculated odds. Ran scenarios. Everything led to the same conclusion. We have to run. Or, Quinn said, we fight. Together. Like we should have been all along. Before Madison could respond, the door burst open. River Thompson stumbled in, face flushed, breathing hard. Madison, thank God I found you. Something's wrong. Really wrong. Slow down, Madison said, immediately shifting into assessment mode. What happened? It's Scarlett and the others? Their River paused, noticing Quinn. Who's this? A friend. Madison said, tell me about Scarlett. They never made it home. Their parents are freaking out. Called the police. And there's more. What? River pulled out their phone. Showed them a video. Security footage from the parking lot. Timestamp. 43 minutes ago. It showed 3 girls walking toward a car. Scarlett. Brooklyn. Trinity. Moving strangely. Mechanically. Like puppets on strings. Often pulled up. Black. No plates. The side door opened. The girls climbed in without hesitation. Without struggle, without looking back, the van drove away. That's not the worst part, River said. Look at this. They swiped to another video. Different angle. Closer. In the driver's seat of the van, barely visible through the tinted glass, was a face Madison recognized. A face that made her blood turn to ice. Handler Stevens. Herr former controller, the man who'd trained her to kill since she was 7 years old. The man who'd supposedly died in an explosion 2 years ago, he's supposed to be dead. She breathed. Who? River asked. Madison. What's going on? Why did those girls get in that van? Why didn't they fight? Quinn answered, because they weren't given a choice. Narrow conditioning. Trigger phrases. They're leverage now. Leverage for what? River demanded. Madison knew. The piece clicked into place with horrible clarity. For me, they took them because of me. To force me to come back? To complete the mission? What mission? Madison. You're scaring me. Madison looked at River. Sweet. Normal River, who worked on the school newspaper and worried about SAT scores and had no idea they'd been best friends with a trained assassin for 2 years. River, I need you to leave. Right now. Go home. Lock your doors. Don't answer for anyone you don't know. I'm not leaving you. Go! Madison's command voice. The one that bypassed conscious thought and went straight to the motor cortex. River backed away, eyes wide. Madison, please, trust me. Go. Now, River ran. Quinn closed the door behind them. That was harsh. Harsh keeps them alive. Madison pulled out her phone, turned it on. 17 missed calls. 31 texts. All variations of the same message. Come home, little bird, or your new friends learn what real pain feels like. Little bird. Quinn read over her shoulder. He always did like his pet names. How long have you been watching me? 3 years. Since you arrived. I've been in the school across town. They wanted us close, but not too close. Parallel operations. I broke protocol 6 months ago when I realized what they were planning, which was Project Gemini. Twin operatives. Perfect synchronization. They've been gathering data on how we operate separately. Now they want to see what we can do together. Madison laughed, dark and bitter. Of course, it was never about the mission. We were the mission. The experiment. And now the lab rats are off the maze. Madison's phone rang. Unknown number. She knew who it would be. She answered, "Hello, little bird." Stephen's voice, smooth as oil, cold as winter. "I've missed you. Let them go. They have nothing to do with this. But they do. You care about them. That makes them everything to do with this. Sloppy. Madison, I trained you better. What do you want? Come home. Both of you. Oh yes. I know Quinn is there. Did you really think we didn't know? That we didn't plan for this exact scenario?" Madison met Quinn's eyes, saw her own realization mirrored there. This was all orchestrated. You wanted us to find each other. Brilliant as always. You have 1 hour. The old facility. You know the one? Come alone. Come unarmed. Come ready to be who you were meant to be. And if we don't, then 3 families will be planning funerals. And that's just the beginning. Your friend River has a little sister, doesn't she? Sophia, 7 years old, same age you were when we met. She'd make an excellent recruit. The line went dead. Madison threw the phone against the wall. It shattered into pieces. "We can't go back." Quinn said, "You know what they'll do to us. We can't not go. He has them. He'll kill them. So, they're civilians. Collateral damage. We've both seen worse." Madison whirled on Quinn. "Is that what they turned you into? Someone who can just write off innocent lives?" "Innocent? Those 3 tortured you for years. And I forgave them. Because that's what humans do. They grow. They change. They choose to be better. That's what separates us from him." Quinn was quiet for a moment. Then, "You really have stayed human. Despite everything. It's the only rebellion I had left." They stood in the dusty music room. 2 teenagers who weren't really teenagers. 2 weapons pretending to be people. 2 siblings stolen from a life they couldn't remember. "So what do we do?" Quinn asked. Madison looked at the scattered pieces of her phone, at the photograph still in her hand, at the twin she'd been forced to forget. "We go. But not alone. And not unarmed. You have a plan?" For the first time in 3 years, Madison smiled. Not the fake shy smile she wore like armor. Not the cold predator smile she'd shown in the storage room. A real smile. Sharp and dangerous and free. "I have something better. I have backup." "Who?" "Everyone they ever trained to replace us. Every kid they broke and rebuilt. Every weapon they thought they controlled." She moved to the window, looked out at the world that had no idea what was coming. "They want to see what the twins can do together? Fine. But they forgot one thing." "What's that?" Madison turned back. Her eyes burned with purpose. "We're not the only ones who remember the lullabies." Madison's fingers flew across the keyboard in the school's computer lab. Quinn stood guard at the door, watching the empty hallway with trained vigilance. "How many?" Quinn asked, without turning around. 17 confirmed. "Maybe more." Madison pulled up another encrypted file. "Every operative under 20 within a 100-mile radius, all products of Stephen's program. And you think they'll help us?" "I think they're tired of being weapons." Madison typed a final command. Message sent. Now we wait. They didn't wait long. The first response came in 43 seconds. Then another. And another. By the time 5 minutes had passed, Madison had 12 confirmations. Shadowfox confirms. Silent Strike confirms. Ghost Walker confirms. Madison read the code names like a roll call of the damaged. "They're all coming. Stevens will be ready for an assault." Quinn warned. "Good. Let him prepare for a war." Madison stood, cracking her knuckles. "We're going to give him a family reunion." 20 minutes later, they stood in the parking lot of Riverside High. The sun was setting, painting the sky the color of blood and bruises. Fitting. A motorcycle pulled up first. The rider removed their helmet, revealing a girl with silver hair and mismatched eyes. One blue, one green. Phoenix. Madison greeted. "Madison." Phoenix smiled, but it didn't reach her eyes. Nothing ever reached her eyes. Heard you were organizing a prison break. Something like that. More vehicles arrived. A beaten pickup truck carrying twin boys who moved in perfect synchronization, a sedan with tinted windows that disgorged 3 teenagers who looked like they'd stepped out of different nightmares, each one trained, each one lethal, each one tired of being someone else's weapon. By 6:30, there were 13 of them, all under 18, all stolen from real lives and forged into instruments of death. This everyone? Quinn asked. Everyone who could make it in time. Madison looked at the assembled group. It'll have to be enough. A boy with scarred hands stepped forward. What's the plan? Madison pulled out a tablet, called up the facility, blueprints from memory. Stevens is holding 3 civilians in the old training center. Sub-level 3. Most likely, he'll have a team, professional mercenaries. Not kids like us. He's expecting me and Quinn to come alone. So we don't. Phoenix said. Exactly. We give him what he wants. Quinn and I walk in the front door. While he's focused on us, you hit the facility from 3 other entry points. Madison marked the locations. Team 1 takes the loading dock. Team 2 goes through the old drainage tunnels. Team 3 hits the roof access. What about their security? The scarred boy asked. Quinn answered. Thermal sensors. Motion detectors. The works. But they have a blind spot. They're calibrated for adult body mass and heat signatures. Anyone under 120 pounds can slip through if they move right. Convenient. Phoenix muttered. Not convenient. Madison corrected. Deliberate. Stevens always did like his escape routes. We're just using his paranoia against him. They spent 10 more minutes planning every detail, every contingency, every possible failure point. Then Madison's stolen phone buzzed. Unknown number. 15 minutes. Little bird, don't be late. Madison looked at her makeshift army. Children who'd never had childhoods. Weapons who chose to be human. Everyone know their roles? Nods all around. Good. Remember, the civilians are priority 1. Stevens is secondary. If you have to choose between stopping him and saving them, save them. Phoenix finished. We know. We're not him. Madison felt something warm bloom in her chest. Pride. Maybe. Or hope. Let's go get our people back. The facility squatted on the edge of town like a cancer. Officially, it was an abandoned food processing plant. Unofficially, it was where childhoods went to die. Madison and Quinn approached the main entrance. The doors stood open. Inviting, a trap-wearing welcome mat clothes. Ready? Quinn asked. No. You? Not even clothes. They walked in anyway. The lobby was exactly as Madison remembered. Industrial teal, fluorescent lights. The faint smell of disinfectant trying to cover something worse. Her body remembered this place. Every muscle carried its own catalog of pain earned in these halls. Straight back. Quinn murmured. Elevator to sub-3. They moved in sync without trying. 10 years of separate training couldn't erase the bone-deep connection of twins. Madison went left when Quinn went right. They checked corners like they'd been doing it together forever. The elevator was waiting. Doors open. Another invitation. They got in. As the elevator descended, Madison counted. 1 Mississippi. 2 Mississippi. At 15 Mississippi. Phoenix's team would breach the loading dock. At 30, the tunnel team would be in position. At 45, the doors opened. Sub-level 3, the training floor, where children learned to be monsters. Handler Stevens stood in the center of the main room. He looked exactly the same. Tall, gray haircut, military short, eyes like winter ice, wearing the same black tactical gear he'd worn the day he'd taken a 7-year-old Madison and told her she was going to be special. Behind him, 3 chairs, 3 girls. Scarlet, Brooklyn, and Trinity sat motionless, eyes vacant, hands bound with zip ties. My little birds, Stevens said, spreading his arms. Welcome home. Let them go. Madison said, all business? No hello for your old teacher? I'm hurt. You'll be more than hurt if you don't release them. Quinn added, Stevens laughed. There they are. The twins. The matched set. Do you know how long I've waited for this moment? Since you faked your death? Madison guessed. Oh, longer than that. Since the day I found you both in that foster home. Two perfect specimens. Identical potential. Different applications. He started pacing. Slow. Measured. You were my greatest success. Madison. Empathetic, but lethal. Emotional, but controlled. The perfect deep cover operative. And Quinn? Pure precision. No emotional interference. The perfect elimination specialist. Stevens smiled like a proud father. Together, you would have been unstoppable. Would have been... Quinn noted. Past tense. Yes. Well, you both developed flaws. Madison. You started caring too much. Quinn. You started questioning orders. So we had to adjust the program. By trying to kill us? Kill you? Oh. Children. I would never waste such perfect weapons. I was trying to reset you. Break you down to base programming. Build you back better. Madison felt the phone in her pocket vibrate once. Phoenix's signal. Team 1 was in. Is that what you did to them? She nodded toward the three girls. Neural conditioning? A crude farm. They're not trained assets. Just temporary leverage. Although, he studied Scarlett's blank face. This one shows potential, good aggression, natural leadership tendencies. She'd make an excellent recruit. You're not taking anyone else. Madison said. 2 vibrations. Team 2 in position. No? And how will you stop me? You came alone. As instructed, no weapons, no backup. Just 2 lost little birds returning to the nest. 3 vibrations. Team 3 ready. Madison smiled. Who said we came alone? The lights went out. Emergency lighting kicked in a second later, bathing everything in red. Alarms shrieked. Somewhere in the facility, glass shattered. Stevens didn't flinch. Predictable. You brought the others. Shadow Fox? Ghost Walker? Perhaps even Little Phoenix? He pulled out a remote. Did you really think I didn't plan for this? He pressed a button. The 3 girls in chairs convulsed. Their eyes rolled back. Foam appeared at the corners of their mouths. Neural implant. Stevens explained casually. Crude, but effective. They have about 6 minutes before permanent brain damage. 4 minutes before death. Unless what? Quinn demanded. Unless you submit to reconditioning. Both of you. Willingly. Right now. Madison's mind raced. The other teams were fighting through the facility. She could hear gunfire. Shouts. They'd reach this level in maybe 3 minutes. But the girls only had 4. Tick-tock. Stevens said. Madison looked at Quinn. Saw the same calculation in her twins' eyes. The same conclusion. They couldn't let the girls die. Fine. Madison said. We submit. Excellent. On your knees. Hands behind your heads. You know the position. They knelt. The position was muscle memory. How many times had they knelt like this? Waiting for instruction? For punishment? For another piece of their humanity to be stripped away? Stevens approached. He had something in his hand. A device Madison recognized. Neural recalibration unit. It would wipe their recent memories, reset them to base programming, turn them back into perfect weapons. I want you to know, he said, standing over them. This brings me no pleasure. I care for you both. Everything I've done has been for your own good. Our own good? Quinn's voice was ice. You stole our lives. I gave you purpose. I made you special. You made us broken. Madison corrected. Stevens sicht. Still so dramatic? Hold still. This will only hurt for a moment. He reached for Madison first. The device hummed with power. That's when Madison heard it. Soft. Almost inaudible under the alarms. Singing. Twinkle. Twinkle. Little star. Stevens heard it too. He paused. Turned. Phoenix stood in the doorway. Blood on her face. Tactical gear torn. But standing and singing. How I wonder what you are. More voices joined. The scarred boy. The synchronized twins. One by one. Stevens' children filled the room, all singing the same lullaby. up above the world so high. Impossible. Stevens breathed. The conditioning should prevent, like a diamond in the sky. Madison rose from her knees. Quinn beside her. They joined the song. When the blazing sun is gone, Stevens backed away. For the first time in Madison's memory, he looked afraid. When he nothing shines upon, stop, he commanded. I order you to stop. But they didn't stop. They moved closer. A circle of broken children who'd found each other, who'd chosen each other, who'd remembered what it meant to be human. Then you show your little light. Stevens raised the neural device like a weapon. Stay back. Twinkle, twinkle. Through the night. Madison reached him first. Her hand closed over his wrist. Gentle, almost tender. You were wrong about one thing, she said softly. What? We didn't come when armed. She squeezed. Stevens' wrist snapped like dry wood. The device fell. Quinn caught it before it hit the ground. We are the weapons. Quinn finished. Stevens dropped to his knees. Not from pain. From the weight of understanding, he'd created perfect weapons, but weapons could choose their targets. And they'd chosen him. Please, he whispered. Madison knelt beside him, met his eyes. That's what we used to say. When the training was too hard, when the pain was too much, we'd say, please. She tilted her head. Did you ever stop? He didn't answer. They both knew he hadn't. Here's what's going to happen, Madison continued. You're going to unlock their neural conditioning. You're going to destroy every file on every child you've taken. You're going to confess to everything. And then you're going to disappear. They'll never let me. The organization is already being dismantled. Phoenix interrupted. While you were playing games down here, we uploaded everything. Every project file, every handler identity, every government contact. It's all public now. Stevens' face went white. You don't understand. They'll kill us all. Everyone involved. Then you better run fast. Quinn suggested. Madison stood, walked to the three girls. Their convulsions had stopped, but they remained unconscious. She found the release mechanism on their chairs. Standard design. Stevens never did change his methods. The restraints clicked open. Wake them up, she ordered. I need the device. Quinn tossed it to him. Stevens caught it with his good hand. Worked the controls, one by one. The girl's eyes fluttered open. Confused. Frightened. But alive. Madison? Scarlett's voice was hoarse. What? Where are we? Somewhere you're never coming back to. Madison helped her stand. Can you walk? I think so. Brooklyn and Trinity struggled to their feet. Whatever they'd been through had stripped away their queen bee personas. They looked young, vulnerable. Human! We need to go. Phoenix announced. Local law enforcement is 4 minutes out. Madison turned back to Stevens. He sat on the floor, cradling his broken wrist, looking like the old man he really was. Run, she told him. Run far. Run fast. And pray we never see you again. He scrambled to his feet, fled toward the emergency exit. None of them tried to stop him. You're letting him go? Brooklyn asked. Shocked. He's already dead. Quinn explained. He just doesn't know it yet. The organization doesn't tolerate exposure. He'll be hunted by his own people within hours. Besides, Madison added, we're not killers. Not anymore. They made their way out of the facility, 13 teenage operatives and 3 confused high school girls. The parking lot was chaos. Emergency vehicles screaming in. SWAT unit deploying. Scatter pattern 7. Madison commanded. The operatives dispersed like smoke. Each had their own extraction route, their own safe houses, their own new identities waiting. Within minutes, only Madison, Quinn, and the 3 girls remained. Wait, Scarlett called as the twins started to leave. What happens now? What do we tell people? Madison looked back. Tell them the truth. 3 girls were kidnapped by a human trafficking ring. You were rescued. You don't remember much. Trauma does that. But what about you? What about what happened in that storage room? What storage room? Madison asked innocently. The one where we Trinity stopped? Understanding dawned. You're leaving. We have to. This life, this school, it was never real for us. Just another mission. So that's it? Brooklyn's voice cracked. You save our lives and just disappear? Quinn spoke up. Would you prefer we stayed? Knowing what we are? What we're capable of? The three girls exchanged glances. The answer was clear. Will you be okay? Scarlett asked. Wherever you're going? Madison smiled. A real smile. We'll be together. That's all that matters. Police cars screeched into the lot. Officer poured out. Weapons drawn. Go. Madison urged. Tell your story. Live your lives. Be better. The girls ran toward the police. Toward safety. Toward normal lives they'd nearly lost. Madison and Quinn faded into the shadows. Two ghosts vanishing into the night. They met up 3 blocks away. A car was waiting. Phoenix behind the wheel. Where to? She asked. Madison looked at Quinn. Quinn looked at Madison. Home. They said together. Phoenix laughed. Going to need more specific coordinates. North. Madison decided. Canada? Maybe. Somewhere quiet. Somewhere we can figure out who we are when we're not being someone else's weapon. Quinn added. They drove in silence for a while. The city lights faded behind them. The road opened up ahead. Thank you, Quinn said suddenly, for not giving up on me. On us. We're family. Madison replied. That's what family does. Is it? I wouldn't know. Neither would I. But we can learn. Quinn reached over, took Madison's hand, squeezed once. In the back seat, Madison felt something she'd never experienced before. Not safety exactly, not peace, but possibility, the chance to be more than what they'd been made. Her phone buzzed. Unknown number. She almost didn't check it, but she did. One word, thank you. She didn't recognize the number, but she knew who it was. Scarlett. Somehow, that single message meant more than any mission commendation she'd ever received. Madison deleted the message, tossed the phone out the window, watched it shatter on the asphalt racing by. No more handlers? She said, no more missions. No more being anyone but ourselves. Think we can do it? Quinn asked. Be normal? Madison laughed. Probably not. But we can try. Phoenix turned on the radio. Some pop song about freedom and new beginnings. Cheesy. Optimistic. Perfect. They drove toward whatever came next. 3 broken weapons choosing to be whole. 3 stolen children reclaiming their lives. Behind them, the facility burned. Someone, probably the synchronized twin Shad, decided to leave no evidence, no trace of what had been done there. Ahead of them, the horizon beckoned. Unknown. Uncertain. Theirs. Madison closed her eyes. For the first time in 10 years, she wasn't calculating escape routes or analyzing threats. She was just riding, just existing, just being 17. It felt like flying. It felt like freedom. It felt like home. And somewhere in the night, carried on the wind, the ghost of a lullaby played, a promise that even stolen children could find their way home. The road stretched on. The journey had just begun.